God, get it together. You're embarrassing.
Do you know just how many scenes were cut from our favorite Marvel movies and shows? What's more fun than spending a little more time in the world of these stories, learning what each of these scenes means to the MCU world, and how those hints can lead to big things, like sequels and spin-offs. So stick around for 14 deleted scenes from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Number 1. How did they learn to throw those thunderbolts? The cinematic cut of Thor Love and Thunder has a few mysteries that get explained in the deleted scenes. In this deleted scene, a quiet exchange between Thor and Zeus, we learn the secret of Zeus's power, and we even get to see Thor try it out, watching Zeus explain to Thor that something as small and simple as a stick can be a thunderbolt. Some of the big action of Thor Love and Thunder makes so much more sense. Number 2. They're so much more, or less, than gods. This deleted scene from Thor Love and Thunder gives us a peek into Thor and Zeus's relationship, and gives us a little more detail of the depth of these characters. Zeus even makes a few nods to how he is not necessarily a wholesome or pure character. In the planning of this scene, the director and actor Russell Crowe debated so much on the accent that Zeus's lines should be performed in, that they settled on shooting everything twice, once with a British accent and once with a Greek accent. Number 3. This story weaves so many webs. In an earlier version of Spider-Man No Way Home, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man has a fight scene with Green Goblin that finds both on the Goblin glider, but this fight didn't make the final cut. We wonder if it was cut to make more time for the Statue of Liberty fight sequence. Speaking of which, the Statue of Liberty sequence had several different versions from the one we see in the cinematic cut, one of which had America Chavez show up in the final fight. Number 4. Going up! Spider-Man No Way Home is filled with subtle nods and obvious references to previous Spider-Man movies. We get to see a number of the villains make dramatic returns, and we even get more than one Spidey. In a more subtle moment, we find the Sinister Six quietly and awkwardly riding in an elevator together. We're thinking that this is a nod to the moment in Spider-Man 2, where Spidey is forced to take the elevator instead of using his favorite web-scaling techniques. What do you think? Number 5. Secrets of the Poster. In a previous version of the movie, an early scene was written where Mordo tried to take out the Scarlet Witch. In this earlier version, the Scarlet Witch ends up cutting off Mordo's head and presenting it to Doctor Strange in a later scene. This nasty sequence of events didn't make it to the cinematic cut, but if you look carefully, you can see this depicted in an early version of the poster for the movie. So why did this change? The director said that this early scene was really great writing, but it slowed the beginning down too much, so we had to lose it. Fair enough. Number 6. Keeping up with the Spideys. Was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness perhaps competitively inspired by Spider-Man No Way Home? No Way Home was impressive with how many other MCU characters, both heroes and villains, made cameos of various sizes in the film. From where we're watching, it seems like the Multiverse of Madness creators decided to up their character cameo game by adding plenty of surprise appearances from classic MCU names. Now, who got the high score? Number 7. Let's keep it a little happier, shall we? The ending of an earlier cut of Eternals was originally going to be much darker than what we see now in the cinematic version. In this alternate ending, the Eternals fail to stop the emergence on Earth. Our planet is destroyed, and the cycle restarts with everyone's mind wiped. While this ending might have been compelling, it probably would have caused some confusion when it came to the multiverse stories. Number 8. Worlds collide. If you follow along carefully, you'll notice that all of the events that happen at the end of the Eternals movie are taking place around the time Spider-Man No Way Home begins. This means that while No Way Home's action begins, the giant stone celestial Tiamat is showing up on the other side of the planet. How will J. Jonah Jameson blame this one on Spidey? Number 9. We need you, Razor Fist. In a deleted scene from an earlier version of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, this battle scene sees Razor Fist facing his end. But in the cinematic cut, Razor Fist shows up in the post-credit scene, where he's serving Shang-Chi's sister. So what happened? Well, we're guessing that because of an upcoming Ten Rings spin-off, the creators needed him alive. So Razor Fist lived to fight another day. Number 10. He almost got to retire. In the cinematic version of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, we see Wenwu formally hand over the rings before he is tragically taken out by the Dweller in Darkness. It's a sad moment, and we wish there was a different ending to Wenwu's story. It turns out that this was not the original plan for him. In an earlier version of the film, the mighty warrior survives the final battle. After handing over the rings, Wenwu gets to enjoy a quiet and peaceful retirement, having taken a step back from the focus of the conflict. The director decided the reason they decided to end Wenwu was because they wanted a more impactful conclusion to his character arc. We'll miss you, Wenwu. Number 11. Have you ever had a whistle call for a pet, or even a pal? Yelena and Natasha did. Early on in Black Widow, we get introduced to this charming greeting the sisters share with one another. Even when they find themselves more and more at odds, the creators of Black Widow use this little sound to remind us that these adversaries were once just kid sisters. And once again, they use the musical moment to pull at our heartstrings when Yelena visits Natasha's grave later on in the story. In an earlier version of the movie, director Kate Shortland says there were discussions about including a whistle reply in the final scene, where Yelena visits her sister's grave. So when Yelena makes her final whistle call in her sister's memory, we would have heard a distant whistle reply, maybe implying that Natasha was still alive. Now that would change things a bit. Number 12. Odin, is that you? After revealing Loki to be masquerading as Odin, Thor takes Loki to New York to the retirement home where Loki left Odin. Just like in the cinematic cut, Thor and Loki find that the retirement home has been demolished, and you might remember that eventually they later find Odin in a picturesque setting somewhere on the shores of Norway. Originally, the film featured this deleted scene where Thor and Loki find Odin living as a homeless man somewhere near the demolished retirement home. We admire Anthony Hopkins committing to the role, but we also get why they decided to change the story just a little. We're not sure if finding Odin like this is too funny or too intense. Number 13. He really does look like melted ice cream. In this deleted scene, Thor has brought Jane Foster to Asgard, but can't remember where he put her. Thor's obviously feeling sorry for himself, as we can see in this moody exchange with Rocket. Maybe this scene changed the tone of the movie too much? Actor Chris Hemsworth describes this part of Thor's story. Some tragic things have happened, and he's decided, you know what, I'm just gonna check out and eat pizza and drink beer. And that's what he's done, you know?
Eggs? Breakfast? No. I'd like a Bloody Mary.
Number 14. Spidey has some new shades. In this deleted scene from Spider-Man Far From Home, Peter and MJ travel together on a plane, where May picks up Peter at the airport. But before Peter gets in the car, he asks May what she thinks of his new look. Peter puts on some familiar sunglasses, and while May might not approve of the look right away, we know they mean a lot to Peter. The glasses were handed to Peter by Happy Hogan, who told him that Tony Stark wanted Peter specifically to have them. Maybe they serve as a reminder that while Iron Man might be gone, Tony's brilliant mind still lives on in the form of the AI system and his protege, Peter. We still haven't been able to figure out just how many deleted scenes there are in the MCU, but we love making each discovery and exploring each meaning. What are your favorites? Let us know in the comments below.